1, 2, 3. Shabbat Shalom!
Out here in Austin, Texas.
Well,
because we not from.
what's that? One more time. That was.
Out here in Austin, Texas.
All right, 1, 2. I'm like. 1, 2, 3. Shabbat Shalom!
Austin, Texas.
That's too
I can't say it without the accent.
You got the
Texas accent.
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
What's going on, everybody? This is Brother Duane from ReBirth of a Nation and Biblical Hebrew Israelite Awakening. Right now, we're going to be showing you a very special Shabbat lesson we had recently here in Austin, Texas. I am leading the assembly here in San Antonio, Texas. So if you're nearby, please come and join us. And also establishing the assembly for ReBirth of a Nation here in Austin, Texas. Right now, what you're looking at is a video showing you some clips of the Austin Central Library. This Central Library is awesome, and for all of our brews out there that are looking for a place to assemble and fellowship, if you're in Austin, Texas, this is the place you want to be. 200,000 square feet, multiple meeting rooms that are available for use for free, and we had a great time this past Shabbat, and you'll be seeing this lesson going forth right now.
Is that Hebrew identity? Now they know once you come to that truth and you accept and go back, it's the end of their empire.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to be reading out of Jubilees Chapter 12, and this is going to be going into Abraham and his awakening, and then we're going to go and get into the book of Numbers.
Does anybody have a apocrypha?
It's not in the Apocrypha, it's
I'm sorry.
but we'll make sure everybody gets taken care of. All right.
I got it. My bad.
All right, so chapter 12, verse 1. And it came to pass in the 6th week, in the 7th year thereof, that Abram said to Terah, his father, saying, Father. And he said, Behold, here I am, son. And he said, What help and profit have we from these idols which thou dost worship, and before which thou dost bow thyself? For there is no spirit in them, for they are dumb forms and misleading of the heart. Worship them not. Worship the Elohim of heaven, who causes the rain and the dew to descend on the earth, and does everything upon the earth, and has created everything by his word, and all life is from before his face. Why do you worship things that have no spirit in them? For they are the work of men's hands. And on your shoulders do you bear them, and you have no help from them. But they are a great cause of shame to those who make them, and a misleading of the heart to those who worship them not. His father said unto him, I also know it, my son, but what shall I do with a people who have made me to serve before them? And if I tell them the truth, they will slay me, for their soul cleaves to them to worship them and honor them. Keep silent, my son, lest they slay thee.
Does Abraham's father? Yep. Is Abraham talking to his father after he rolled up in his house?
And these words he spake to his 2 brothers, and they were angry with him, and he kept silent. And in the 40th Jubilee, and in the 2nd week, in the 7th year thereof, Abram took to himself a wife, and her name was Sarai, or Sarai, the daughter of his father, and she became his wife. And Haran his brother took to himself a wife in the 3rd year of the 3rd week, and she bare him a son in the 7th year of this week, and he called his name Lot. And Nahor, his brother, took to himself a wife, and in the 60th year of the life of Abram, that is in the 4th week, in the 4th year thereof, Abram arose by night and burned the house of the idols. And he burned all that was in the house, and no man knew it. They arose in the night and sought to save their little gods, little e Elohims, from the midst of the fire. Listen to this. And Haran hasted to save them, but the fire flamed over him, and he was burnt in the fire, and he died in Ur of the Chaldee, before Terah his father, and they buried him in Ur of the Chaldees. And Terah went forth from Ur of the Chaldees, he and his sons, to go into the land of Lebanon, and into the land of Canaan, and he dwelt in the land of Haran. And Abram dwelt with Terah his father in Haran 2 weeks of years. And in the 6th week, in the 5th year thereof, Abram sat up throughout the night on the new moon of the 7th month to observe the stars from the evening to the morning, in order to see what would be the character of the year with regard to the rains. And he was alone as he sat and observed. And a word came into his heart, and he said, all the signs of the stars and the signs of the moon and of the sun are all in the hand of Adonai. Why do I search them out? So you have to understand where our people come from. Where did we come from? If you look at chapter 11, it gives the history. We come from Ur of the Chaldees. That's where we come from. What's happening right now is Abram, as he's awakening, is doing what Chaldeans do. They look at the sun, the moon, the stars, to see about the year, the weather, all those different things. They don't necessarily worship it. The Chaldeans don't necessarily worship it. They're just reading. They're reading the signs of the sun, the moon, the stars. Not to get sidetracked, but what ended up happening was there was an ancestor that's not written in the Bible. They wrote him out the Bible. He's an ancestor. But the problem was he's the founder of the Chaldean, you could say, culture. He found the tablets of the Watchers that actually define and break down the sun, the moons, and stars. That's why when you look in Daniel and you look at other places, the Chaldeans are the ones, the sorcerers. They're the ones that are looking at all the magic type stuff, right? Called the Chaldeans and being like, hey, how do you read this? What do you see? Those are our people, but we came out of them.
What was his name?
So Canaan or Kenan was the name of the ancestor that got written out of the scriptures.
Also, verse 6 was interesting because Jennifer just pointed this out that that's after the Feast of Trumpets. So the new moon on the 7th month to observe the stars from the evening of morning over to see what would be the character of the year. So what makes that interesting to me is because I didn't know. A big question for me was, did Abraham keep the feast days that he observed, the feast of the Most High with those laws around, before Moses?
It seems like it was, because a lot of those things were done in those cultures. Not that Kenan, was he from Canaan, as it came in neighbor?
No, he was a Shemite.
Canaan? Because
remember, don't get hung up on a name.
okay.
That's a lot. The whole black and white, all and only thing is not real. There's going to be some Shemitic people that are called Canaan or Kenan. They actually changed the name in the English so you don't get it confused.
That's right.
They don't want you to associate
It's a
it.
language of deception.
So they want to flip it. It's like saying, okay, well, we got a disciple and a brother named Judas, but we can't put him as Judas because then people will think of Judas Iscariot.
Right.
So we'll call him Jude.
Right.
So we're going to transliterate his name as Jude when his real name was Judas.
Judas.
Or like Judas Maccabee.
Oh yeah, because Judas
Right.
Iscariot, and there was another Judas.
Judas is just a name.
Yeah.
It's a
But-
derivative of Judah.
Right.
So betrayed. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm not going to get sidetracked. I'm not going to do it.
Verse 18. If he desires, he causes it to rain morning and evening. And if he desires, he withholds it. And all things are in his hand. And he prayed that night and said, and this for me is very special. Everyone in their household should be praying this prayer, especially the men. Abram says, my Elohim, Elohim Most High, thou alone art my Elohim. And thee and thy dominion have I chosen, and thou hast created all things. And all things that are the work of thy hands. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have dominion over the thoughts of men's hearts, and let them not lead me astray from thee, my Elohim. And establish you me and my seed forever. Establish me and my seed forever. That we go not astray from henceforth and forevermore. And he said, which is awesome, taking that relationship with the Most High seriously in every action of his life. Shall I return unto Ur of the Chaldees, who seek my face that I may return to them? Or am I to remain here in this place? What should I do? The right path before thee prosper it in thy hands of thy servant, that he may fulfill it, and that I may not walk in the deceitfulness of my heart, O my Elohim. You ain't hearing this in church, right?
Right.
It's speaking to you from your ancestors. This is the foundation right here. And he made an end of speaking and praying, and behold, the word of Yahweh was sent to him through me, saying, get thee up from thy country, and from thy kindred, and from the house of thy father unto a land which I will show thee. And I will make thee a great and numerous nation. And I will bless thee, and I will make thy name great, and thou shalt be blessed in the earth, and thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee. And I will be an Elohim to thee and thy son, and to thy son's son, and to all thy seed. Fear not from henceforth, and unto all generations of the earth. I am thy Elohim. And Yahweh Elohim said, open his mouth, speaking to a malak, a messenger. Open his mouth and his ears, that he may hear and speak with his mouth, with the language which has been revealed, for it has ceased from the mouths of all children of men from the day of the overthrow, that of Babel. Give him his language back.
Wow. So that's where the Semitic language comes from that right there.
And I opened his mouth and his ears and his lips, and I began to speak with him in Eve, or Hebrew, in the tongue of the creation. And he took the books of his fathers, and these were written in Eve, or Hebrew, and he transcribed them, and began from henceforth to study them. And I made known to him that which he could not understand, and he studied them during the 6 rainy months. And it came to pass in the 7th year of the 6th week that he spoke to his father and informed him that he would leave Haran to go into the land of Canaan to see it and return to him. Terah his father said unto him, go in peace. May the eternal Elohim make thy path straight, and Yahweh be with thee and protect thee from all evil, and grant unto thee grace, mercy, and favor before those who see thee. and may none of the children of men have power over thee to harm thee. Go in peace. And if thou seest a land pleasant to thy eyes to dwell in, then arise and take me to thee, and take Lot with thee, the son of Haran, thy brother, as thy own son. Take Lot as your own son. Yahweh be with thee, and Nahor thy brother leave with me till thou returnest in peace, and we will go with thee altogether. That is Jubilees Chapter 12. I wanted to bring that out because that was the establishment of the covenant between Abram and the Most High Elohim. So, go to Numbers 22. I want you to understand that what the Most High has blessed, no one can curse. Verse 1, the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho. And Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was sore afraid of the people because they were many. And Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak, the son of Zippor, was king of the Moabites at that time. Write that down. King of the Moabites. Who are the Moabites? Write that down. You can research that out. He sent messengers, therefore, unto Baalam, the son of Beor, to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou blessed is blessed, and he whom thou hast cursed is cursed. The elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand. They came unto Balaam, and spake unto him the words of Balak. And he said unto them, lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as Yahweh shall speak unto me. And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam. And Elohim came unto Balaam, and said, what men are these with thee? Balaam said unto Elohim, Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, hath sent unto me, saying, behold, there is a people come out of Egypt, which covereth the face of the earth. Come now, curse me them. Peradventure I shall be able to overcome them and drive them out. Elohim said unto Balaam, pay attention, thou shalt not go with them. Thou shalt not curse these people, for they are blessed. And Balaam rose up in the morning and said unto the princes of Balak, get you into your land, for Yahweh refuses to give me leave to go with you. And the princes of Moab rose up, and they went unto Balak, and said, Balaam refuses to come with us. Balak sent yet again princes more and more honorable than they. And they came to Balaam and said to him, thus says Balak, the son of Zippor, let nothing, I pray thee, hinder thee from coming unto me. For I will promote thee unto very great honor, and I will do whatsoever thou sayest unto me. Come therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people. And Balaam answered and said unto the servants of Balak, if Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of Yahweh my Elohim to do less or more. Now therefore I pray you, tarry you also here this night, that I may know what Yahweh will say unto me more. And Elohim came unto Balaam at night, and said unto him, If the men come to call thee, rise up and go with them. But yet the word which I say unto thee, that shall you do. Skip down to verse 36. And when Balak heard that Balaam was come, he went out to meet him unto the city of Moab, which is on the border of Arnon, which is in the utmost coast. And Balak said unto Balaam, Did I not earnestly send unto thee to call thee? Wherefore camest thou not unto me? Am I not able indeed to promote thee to honor? Balaam said unto Balak, Lo, I have come unto thee. Have I now any power at all to say anything? The word that Elohim putteth in my mouth, that shall I speak. And Balaam went with Balak, and they came unto Kirath Jeathhuthas. And Balak offered oxen and sheep, and sent to Balaam, and to the princes that were with him. And it came to pass on the morrow that Balak took Balaam, and brought him unto the high places of Baal, that thence he might see the utmost part of the people. Verse 23, the first portion talks about the prophets and the 7 altars and the sacrifices that were made. Verse 5, Yahweh put a word in Balaam's mouth and said, Return unto Balak, and thus shall you speak. And he took up his parable and said, Balak the king of Moab hath brought me unto Abram out of the mountains of the east, saying, Come, curse me, Jacob, and come, defy Israel. How shall I curse whom God or Elohim hath not cursed? How shall I defy whom Yahweh hath not defied? For from the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. Lo, the people shall dwell alone, and shall not be reckoned among the nations. Who can count the dust of Jacob, and the number of the 4th part of Israel? Let me die in the death of righteous, and let my last be like this, or like his. So Balak said unto Balaam, What hast thou done unto me? I took thee to curse mine enemies, and behold, thou hast blessed them altogether. And he answered and said, Must I not take heed to speak that which Yahweh has put in my mouth? All right.
Now, this man, Balaam, he's like what Samuel those guys were, right? He was not a Hebrew.
Say again?
Balaam, he was a prophet of God, but he was not a Hebrew.
He actually was a Hebrew. He was
Moab was the sons
Of Lot, right?
Lot, right?
Balaam actually is an Edomite.
Balaam. But Edom was not around yet, brother.
Yeah. Balaam was an Edomite. He was an Edomite king.
Oh,
I want you to turn to Revelations. And research that out what I just said about Balaam. You'll see it be true. Revelations 2. And let's do 12 through 14. That's cool. Somebody read 12 through 14 for me. Nice and loud.
And to the angel of the assembly in Pergamos write, These things saith he which hath the sharp sword with 2 edges. I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is. And thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you where Satan dwelleth. But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast dared them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel to eat things sacrificed unto idols and to commit fornication.
You see that? Now this is Hamashiach speaking. So what happened? Here we hear Balaam saying one thing, but what happened? The Most High is letting us know. You have those that teach and hold to the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication. Balak came to Balaam to curse Israel, but he could not. I'm here to tell you that the only way us as a people can be cursed and put in a cursed state is if a stumbling block is put before us, like is being done now on a continual basis here in this country, for us to do those things that are against the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High Elohim. Everything got bacon in it. Everything. You like, what's going on? They're injecting all these things into our food to get us to continually break the commandment.
That's right.
They put naked women of various assortments and varieties before the men. They even entice our ladies, right? There's pornography rampant. And it's a major stumbling block for a lot of us. The enemies of Israel are doing everything via propaganda and media and marketing to entice you as the Hebrew to break the laws, statutes, and commandments. Christianity, that most of us came out of, says those laws are done away with. That part of the book, we don't even read that no more. Don't even worry about that. It's good. Christ paid the price. You're free. You're free to eat whatever you want and be free and to do whatever you want to do. You're good. Changing everything around.
Because Paul said
Shabbat is no longer a thing of fellowship and community amongst us as brothers and sisters, because you guys are my brothers and sisters. Now it's just, well, we're going to do this Sunday, Monday, and worship and have the rock music playing and the lights flashing and all this type of stuff. Right? It's just going to be right.
And some churches, right, they take it to a whole nother.
And everything that is promoted happens on Friday evening.
Yes. Saturday night.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Football
good.
game, high school football games, Friday evening.
Kids just play on
Parties and
Thursday.
everything big going on on Saturday.
College, football games, Friday.
Friday, Saturday.
Give me a rain check.
Can't you like we got 100% linen suits. All right, I'm gonna go Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, it's all set up. It's all set up.
You see, I think that's why Yahuwah told us not to get some material things, because he knew that they just stealing from us and lying to us, and they get us with what we want.
Very good. All right, let's continue. I want you guys to turn to, let's go to chapter 25, Numbers 25. And then we're going to get,
25?
Numbers 25. And we're going to get a little bit deeper here. Verse 1. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their little e Elohims, And the people did eat and bow down to their Elohim. And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against Israel. The anger of Yahweh was kindled against Israel. And Yahweh said unto Moses, take all the heads, leaders, chiefs of the people, and hang them up before Yahweh against the sun, that the fierce anger of Yahweh may be turned away from Israel. And Moses said unto the judges of Israel, slay every one his men that were joined unto Baal Peor. So we got a major issue here. I bring this out to show, how is it that Abraham was so blessed, the friend of the Most High Elohim? How is it that he's told by the Most High, I'm blessing you and your sons and your sons' sons, and all thy generations shall be blessed. I will bless those that bless you and curse those that curse you. You got Balaam coming trying to put a curse on the Israelites. Israelites can't be cursed. They're blessed. It doesn't go into it too deep here. We'll get into the next part, next section of scripture. But Balak offered a lot of money, prestige, wealth, all that to Balaam. Balaam wasn't walking away from that money because his heart was not for the Most High Elohim. His heart was for himself. His heart was for that cash flow. I got to find a way to make this work. It's like a Hazai going after, doing too much, right? Turn back. So the next portion of our lesson, I'm done with the scriptures of the Bible right now. We read Jubilees. This is where it's important. And for those of you that can see, complete works of Josephus.
Can I ask a question on that? Have you read Josephus, how he describes, do you believe when he describes Yeshua's?
No.
Yeah, because I had some questions on that.
But we have to get that offline on that one.
Okay.
Go to book 4, chapter 6. Book 4, chapter 6. If you don't have it, you don't have it. We'll look at it later. It says, now Moses, when he had brought his army to Jordan, pitched his camp in the great plain over against Jericho. This city is very happy. It's a very happy situation and very fit for producing palm trees and balsam. Now the Israelites began to be very proud of themselves and very eager for fighting. Moses then, after he had offered for a few days sacrifices and thanksgiving to Elohim, and feasted the people, sent a party of armed men to lay waste the country of the Midianites and to take their cities. Now the occasion which he took for making war upon them was this that follows. When Balak, the king of the Moabites, who had from his ancestors a friendship and league with the Midianites, saw how great the Israelites were grown, he was much affrighted on account of his own and his kingdom's danger. For he was not acquainted with this, that the Hebrews, or the Eves, or Ephes, or Eways, would not meddle with any other country, but were to be contented with the possession of the land of Canaan. Elohim having forbid them to go any further, so he took with more haste than wisdom, resolved to make an attempt upon them by words, but he did not judge it prudent to fight against them after they had such prosperous success, and even became out of ill success more happy than before. But he thought to hinder them, if he could, from growing greater, and so he resolved to send ambassadors to the Midianites about them. Now these Midianites, knowing there was one Balaam who lived by Euphrates, and was the greatest of the prophets at that time, and one that was in friendship with them, sent some of their honorable princes along with the ambassadors to Balak. Of Balak, to entreat the prophet to come to them, that he might imprecate curses to the destruction of the Israelites. So Balaam received the ambassadors and treated them very kindly, and when he had supped or ate, he inquired what was Elohim's will, and what this matter was for which the Midianites entreated him to come to them. But when Elohim opposed his going, he came to the ambassadors and told them that he was himself very willing and desirous to comply with their request, but informed them that Elohim was opposite to his intentions, even that Elohim, who had raised him to great reputation on account of the truth of his predictions, for that this army which they entreated him to come and curse was in the favor of Elohim, on which account he advised them to go home again and not to persist in their enmity against the Israelites. Basically, it's a retelling of what we just read in in Numbers. His personal desire was to help them, to help Balak. But I can't. The Most High Elohim is saying this: I want to help you, but I'm being told I can't. I want to fast forward here because the rest we've already kind of read through it. Okay? And this is actually pretty amazing what he did. This outlines what he ended up doing to curse or get Israel to curse themselves. And that's the ultimate point. The Israelites cursed themselves. So there was a plot that was made. It's going to be section 7, but I want to... I'll start there. No, I want to read a little bit further because that's a really... Okay. 6. But Balak, being very angry that the Israelites were not cursed, sent away Balaam without thinking him worthy of any honor. Whereupon, when he was just upon his journey, in order to pass the Euphrates, he sent for Balak and for the princes of the Midianites, and spake thus to them. So I want you to see, Balaam was on his way back home by the Euphrates, and it was like, I got an idea. Let me turn back. Let me turn back. O Balak, and you Midianites that are here present, for I am obliged even without the will of Elohim to gratify you. It is true, no entire destruction can seize upon the nation of the Hebrews, neither by war, nor by plague, nor by scarcity of the fruits of the earth, nor can any other expected accident be their entire ruin. For the providence of Elohim is concerned to preserve them from such a misfortune, nor will it permit any such calamity to come upon them whereby they may all perish, but some small misfortunes, and those for a short time, whereby they may appear to be brought low, may still befall them, but after that they will flourish again, to the terror of those that brought those mischiefs upon them. So that if you have a mind to gain a victory over them for a short space of time, you will obtain it by following my directions. So now you're going to get the meat of what Hamashiach was saying in Revelations 2:14. Do you therefore set out thy handsomest of such of your daughters as are most eminent for beauty, and proper to force and conquer the modesty of those that behold them. A weird way of saying their beauty is so outrageous that even the most modest Hebrew is going to get weak and submit to lust after her beauty. And these debt and trim to the highest degree you are able. Then do you send them to be near the Israelites' camp, and give them in charge that when young men of the Hebrews desire their company, they allow it them. And when they see that they are enamored of them, let them take their leaves. And if they entreat them to stay, let them not give their consent till they have persuaded them to leave off their obedience to their own laws and the worship of that Elohim who established them, and to worship the little e Elohims of the Midianites and the Moabites. For by this means Elohim will be angry at them. Accordingly, when Balaam had suggested this counsel to them, he went his way. That's what Balaam did. Let that sink in for a little bit. Let that sink in. I want to send our most beautiful women after these Hebrews. Send them to the camp. They can't resist. Deck them out.
And you see that still happening today.
Yeah. It's called,
Right?
It's called prom.
All right. Here we go. Section 7.
The most prominent, from us, or how they have get out type of situation.
Absolutely.
Oh, not even kind of. Oh, yeah. Now that is exactly how they do. And now that you just read that, I see. You just see the enemy's plan because that not changed from.
It's not. I gotta get you tripped up. I gotta get you tripped up.
So you say that Kanye is not because slavery is a choice.
Man, don't even bring it up.
Not even going there right now.
But if you look at it, if you look at the scripture,
real talk though.
if you look at the scripture, Kanye may be talking some scripture to y'all, and y'all don't.
That's what's wrong with him, because you know his mom raised him to be saved.
Hey, but you know
So
what?
that's why he's so messed up.
No, his father was
set
a
it up.
Black Panther. Kanye has no excuse for me saying what he wants. But I will say this though.
Yes, he does.
What he did say was, okay, for 400 years, man, you know there were certain plantations, it was like 500 black people and maybe 12, 13 white.
We're not at 400.
And those people still alive? Man, when he says that and you look at it, man, these people would rather,
Oh, that wouldn't happen
not all of
today.
them, but the fact is, man, those people couldn't sleep good at night. I would like to think if I was a slave, man, I'd be burning up things.
That's why you weren't born in that time.
Yeah. A lot of us are coming at it from multiple perspectives, and that's cool. But slavery was not a choice. Now it's a byproduct of our disobedience.
Right.
Yes.
It's a byproduct of our disobedience told from the very beginning.
Yes.
But it ain't like, I wake up one day and be like, I want to get myself enslaved. We was born in this thing,
Remember what Harry Tubman said? I could have freed many people. There was
More.
who could not see that they were slaves.
Right.
And there were people that were free.
That's the same thing today, though. That's the same thing today.
You look at Nat Turner
People
when he did the
cannot
revolt.
see
Denmark VC,
that you still in bondage.
every single slave
You
revolt
still
that
in
was
the
had,
band, you can't.
whites did not discover it. It was another slave that rendered us out to them. We stopped every single after the freedom was getting our freedom.
It's not like prison though. I mean, the prisoners outnumber the people, the few COs there too, but they're not gonna be able to, you can try to do a revolt, but, they're gonna get killed.
It's just,
But back then it would
it's
have
just
been easier
challenging.
than it would today. You see what I'm saying? We could have joined with the Native Americans and gave them a choice. Or either we're gonna live together as brothers or you die. You see what I'm saying?
Well, see, that's the thing though, because that happened in a lot of different instances. It happened. You look at Florida. We went to Florida.
For a Negro.
And then from Florida, we went to Oklahoma, and then to Mexico, right?
That's right, because you'd rather run south than run all the way up to north, which is dangerous.
Florida was its own territory.
It was separate.
It was a separate.
Until it kind of gave up.
Florida was like its own country.
Slaves ran south, and Florida, Spain.
That's because Mexico
Spain owned it.
had land of slavery.
Well,
So
Spain was free.
yes,
Yeah.
Right. And Spain
and
owned Florida.
Mexico too, because a lot of people went into Mexican Texas and Spain because it was a lot closer. It was a lot closer to go to, which was then Texas was a part of Mexico. Then to go all the way up north.
You know the true history of the Alamo?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Vicente Guerrero, who was
Yeah.
also a black Mexican,
Yeah.
he sent Santa Anna to the Alamo because the Mexicans gave the Texans two things. You got to become Catholic and you cannot own slaves.
All slaves. That's
They
right.
tried to tell them, oh, these are not slaves, they just work for free. Well, when they saw that was going on, Guerrero sent Santa Anna. And if you ever heard of the Yellow Rose of Texas, she was a mulatto girl that Santa Anna basically got caught with his pants down. Otherwise, he would have wiped Sam Houston out, the army that he had with him. But yeah, that Alamo, they were fighting to protect slavery. And a lot of our people called them heroes. Those guys were no kind of term.
All right, I got to close this out because we're almost up on time. I think it closes at 5, so I'm not sure they're going to try to rush us out of here. I'm going to read part of section 7 and then section 9 because it kind of hits the point home what we're talking about right now. So part of section 7 says, so when the Midianites had sent their daughters as Balaam had exhorted them, the Hebrew young men were allured by their beauty and came to discourse with them and besought them not to grudge them the enjoyment of their beauty, nor to deny them their conversation. These daughters of the Midianites received their words gladly and consented to it and stayed with them. But when they had brought them to be enamored of them, and their inclinations to them were grown to ripeness, they began to think of departing from them, teasing them. I'm going to tempt you. I'm going to seduce you. I'm going to flirt with you and then pull back. I'm not going to read through it all, but bottom line, you don't know how it goes down. The brothers was after these ladies, and we go on to 9. And this is the part that's it's pretty sad. Now the young men were induced by the fondness they had for these women to think they spake very well, so they gave themselves up to what they persuaded them and transgressed their own laws. And supposing there were many Elohims, and resolving that they would sacrifice to them according to the laws of that country which ordained them, they both were delighted with their strange food and went on to do everything that the women would have them do, though in contradiction to their own laws. So far indeed that this transgression was already gone through the whole army of the young men, and they fell into a sedition that was much worse than the former, and into danger of the entire abolition of their own institutions. For when once the youth had tasted of these strange customs, they went with insatiable inclinations unto them, and even where some of the principal men were illustrious on account of the virtues of their fathers, they also were corrupted together with the rest. I'm sorry, like, it was hard for me just to read that, if it kind of sounded weird, because it was like, I'm sitting there like, oh, it's pain to me to even read this.
But you see it happening before, very
Right. It's a strange custom. Now you see why they don't want us to read this book.
And it just keeps
Strange food.
All right, so in your own time, section 10 talks about Zimri. You read about him in the Numbers account, right?
Oh, that was the king of Midian.
Zimri. No, he's the one that got the javelin.
Oh,
right. He's the one that got stuck. So, but it talks about how even Zimri, the head of the tribe of Simeon, accompanied with Cosbi, a Midianitish woman who was the daughter of Shur, a man of authority in that country. He basically all right, so being the head of the Simeonite clan, he married a princess named Cosby. So he basically was joining the entire Simeonite clan or tribe to these people as the head. That's why he got javelin. That's why he is man.
Before he could even establish a seed.
Before that could drop.
They both got some things.
All right. So I know we'll discuss more. We got time after this, I guess, but I guess it's time for us to shut it down. I think it's 4:45, right? Yes, and then they're gonna be like trying to. We don't gotta leave yet, but I gotta shut this down in prayer, and then we can go on from there. I want to thank you guys all for coming out here in Austin, making it happen. You know, it's a blessing to be able to come here and to fellowship and just go over the script. Anyone else want to pray and lead us out in prayer? Anybody from local? I think somebody from Austin should lead us out in prayer. I usually don't. You got it? All right. I'm going to go ahead and get the mic on.
Heavenly Father, Yahuwah Elohim, the Elohim of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We thank you, Lord, for everything that you do for us every day. Thank you for everyone who's able to come today. Thank you for your great word. Thank you, Lord, that everything that you're with us and that you'll never leave us nor forsaken us. We pray that you bless everyone in this study today, Father, in this assembly. Lord, bless us to have a wonderful rest of our week this week. Bless our families, our children, our marriages, our lives. Quench our souls as we continue to thirst for you, as we continue to thirst for righteousness. Father, let us stay on that narrow road, that narrow path that leads to you. And we thank you and we pray for these things to come to pass. In Hashem, Yehoshua HaMashiach.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.